So I made this video so that I never have to talk about black on black crime again online. I'm just going to share this video in the comments. I'm going to go through it in 3 points. 1, black on black crime is a myth. You ever hear Asian on Asian crime? You ever hear Italian on Italian crime? Or Irish on Irish crime? Or Hispanic on Hispanic crime? You don't hear that phrase. It's a phrase that was used to continue to demonize black people, and it doesn't really exist because crime is usually about proximity and not based on race, right? If you look at how many crimes white people commit against other white people, it's around the same percentage as black people. Why is that? Because it's proximity. Now, the interesting thing to me, and this goes for many brown people, right? Many black and brown people, is that our crime rates aren't higher. A lot of times we've been forced to live in ridiculous social experimental conditions, right? Housing projects, inner cities, food deserts, places without job opportunities where the education is low, where they defund the education systems there, so we're not given any opportunities. Places where we don't own any stores, so we see less employment there. That's where many black people live. That's where many brown people live. It's amazing that our crime rates aren't higher given the disparity of the situation. When I look at those numbers, it's like, wow, even though we're in a much more dire situation, we still aren't that violent. We still don't commit that much crime. It's very comparable to every other group. So that's part number 1. Part number 2 is that we don't care. We only care when white people kill us. That's ridiculous. Do you know how many organizations there are to stop inner city violence, to stop guns in the hood, that are there to help mentor young black youth? Do you know how many organizations there are across the nation? I've worked with many of them in the Philadelphia and Camden areas doing video and all types of stuff. Do you know how much work they do? If you really had a problem with it, you go and you'd help fund those organizations. You go volunteer your time with those organizations. If you're really serious about black people not caring about black people killing each other, look it up. Find an organization near you. I'm sure there's one there. It's a problem that we've been fighting for a long time. We've always been policing ourselves because we never had trust in the police, which brings me to my 3rd point. The reason that we march, the reason that you see national attention, the reason that we march, the reason that we riot, the reason that there's so much up in arms, anger and rage when the police kill us in the streets is because who are we gonna call when there is crime? Because when you call the cops, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know how many times there's been people that have called the cops where the people that called them were also assaulted? It's a crapshoot. So there's no trust in the black community with the police officer. So that's one of the problems. The other problem is if a police officer kills a black person, they go free. When black people kill black people, 2 families' lives are ruined because they're going to definitely get the criminal because that's part of the prison industrial complex. They need black bodies to continue the slavery system that they have of cheap labor, of these for-profit prisons. They're going to make sure that they capture this black individual and put them in the system. Now with cops, when cops kill us, they frequently get paid vacations. They don't lose their jobs. They see no repercussions. Nothing happens. That is not justice. That's not equal. That's not safe. That does not promote trust. We can't call them. So that's why we march. We need to be treated equal by the state. There's a big difference between systemic injustice and crime. It's going to be difficult to stop crime. Crime has been around forever. But I do believe that crime would decrease greatly if we stopped systemic injustice. If we had economic justice, if we were given opportunities, if they funded our education systems properly and our kids had hope, if there were jobs available where we lived, if we had ownership of the land, I think our crime would decrease dramatically because most of the crimes are done out of despair. So yeah, it's important to march. It's important to change the system. It's important to get involved and actively change how we're living in this country. But black on black crime is a myth. So stop talking about it.
Voodoo.